Morning guys. So there was a comment that was made in my previous video about rust on brake rotors. Well, last night we actually had a tornado warning. Didn't see one in the area, but we had a tornado warning and we also had a flash flood warning. All of our cars are parked outside all the time, and so I wanted to show you guys the surface rust on all three of our cars. Well, three of our four cars that are parked here. All of them were outside. All of them were parked at the same time. All of them have sat the entire night. So let me show you here. We'll start with the Ford, move to our BMW, and then I'll show you the Tesla. So you can see through the wheel here the surface rust. This car was parked right before the storm. You can see the surface rust on the brake rotors from the rain last night. This is our 2014 Ford Fusion. So the front brake rotor was worse than the rear there. Now we'll go to the BMW, which is very clear because there's much more room between the spokes, but you can see the surface rust there. That's the front wheel. Now there's the rear brake rotor, which this is typical for most any car that's in the rain. And now here's my Model 3. You can see there's very, very little surface rust on the rotors. And we'll go to the back wheel now. And almost none. In case you're wondering if it was the direction of the wind that was blowing water into the wheels, here's the rotors on the other side of the car. There's the rear. And there's the front. So just very, very tiny amount of surface rust on the rotors on the Model 3. So the comment that was made regarding rust buildup on Model 3 rotors is really incorrect. We have, as you can see, far more rust that is building up on our normal gas cars than I see on my Model 3. And I know there's a concern for this because with EVs, you have much less braking force. 90+% of all the braking action is done by the electric regen, unless you're really hard on the brakes. And the brakes only really grab for the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 miles an hour when you're coming to a stop under normal driving conditions. So the brake rotors don't see nearly as much use, and there's always a concern that rust will build up on the rotors. And I can tell you on my Ford C-Max Hybrid, I eventually had to replace the rotors because of delamination. I actually had chunks of the rotors falling off because of rust, but that's not the case with the Model 3. The brake rotor composition is very, very good, and the material they're using is apparently a higher grade of stainless, I suppose. I'm not a metallurgist, but obviously there's far less rust buildup on Model 3 brake rotors than there are on at least certain other normal cars. So anyway, that's my take on the matter. Figure you guys would get a kick out of this. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'm going to the upholstery shop today to supposedly pick up one of my new steering wheels. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye now.